It's about the kingdom. And when you understand that, then we understand, we put family in perspective, we put school in perspective, we put life in perspective, jobs and everything else, when we understand it's about the kingdom. Because as long as it's about the kingdom, God won't keep some money in your pocket. I promise you, He will. But when God sees you on track, you go someplace, okay, I'm going to let you remind you it's about me, and not the job that just laid you off. So we have to come to the point to understand at this point that what has happened to us, we can understand, because it's like a robbery of an armored ATM. You've been hijacked, you've been carjacked, you've been home invasion by the enemy. And you didn't know that because nobody's ever told you that the steps and the things you're doing, he's trying to lead you to a sure path of destruction. But he does it, and he takes it by force. And whenever you have to run up with somebody taking something by force, whenever they pull a gun on you, pull a knife, hit you upside your head, they're taking it by force. You know, and so the enemy has been taking stuff from us by force. And that's the origin of this, because it's by force that he's been intimidating us, and by force he's been robbing us, by force he is having this. And because we are advancing the kingdom, and every time we advance the kingdom, every time we pick up the gospel, preach it, sing it, read it, whatever, then he's going to throw roadblocks up in your way. I can best explain this, is that you understand is that as we advance the kingdom, because the text said John the Baptist had been no one else greater that was born of a woman. Catch that, born of a woman. So when you start talking about that, you got to understand that he's saying ain't nobody else been greater, because he took up the gospel, and as he advanced it, and you remember, as he preached the gospel, threats came to his life, and all kind of attacks come. I come to tell anybody today, once you get serious about this work, all kind of attacks gonna come. Once you start living for the Lord, you think the devil this way, you start really getting sick, because you've been playing with him. But when you start really giving God your heart, watch all kind of hell break loose. And so the text is talking about how it took it by force. But then this time they said that not only that, here comes the other part to this. The other part to that is this, is that it takes it violently by force. The violent take it by force. And so what happens is that it's really the reversal of what you might think. Because after all, you think the church is all about, hello, God bless you. You think it's all about, yes. No. There comes a time that the Bible says that in Jews you have to contend for the faith. Now, whenever you look up contend, you're going to talk about fight for it. You got to have something to hang on in there with it. And you ain't fighting for it unless you're really getting down and dirty. And the real truth of the gospel is that it took Jesus to die for our freedom, our salvation to be wrought. So you can't talk about that it is not a murderous gospel, or it's not a violent gospel. It's a violence to get us to where we are. But what happens is that there comes a time when the reversal has to be put on. And that happens is that once you have been, they show you where you are, you got to start fighting back. But you got to fight back, and you got to take it by force. Now that don't mean that you use the same weapons they use, but there's other weapons God has given you to use and to take some stuff back. And so all that happens is this, is that Jesus says that the kingdom suffered violence. All that means is that it requires us an equally strong response and reaction to that has been taken. In other words, if somebody takes something from you, you got to take it back. The other day I had an opportunity to see our young son, Brother Melvin Ellis, play football. He played defense, and because of defense, on the offense, somebody's trying to get to the goal. Defense trying to stop you from getting to the goal. And all this is the gospel being preached. What happens is the more we offense, the more the devil says, I got to stop y'all from reaching your goals. I got to stop you. I got to push you back to where you need to get to, you know. And so Melvin's in no stalemate. And sometimes the offense man went nowhere and the defense man went nowhere. But sometimes your assignment is just that. Because although Melvin thought he did a good job with defense, the deal is that if the offensive man can just stand him up and hold him up long enough for him to go another way, then the gold can be made. You'll catch that one.